angle for you, YouTube. It's a little further down. Let's just keep it as that. So let me get live on Instagram. We on Friday, Food Friday. So hello and welcome everybody. How's everybody doing? We are live. And we got some things, we got some good things to make for you today. And we come prepared as always. We always come prepared. I wouldn't say always, but most of the time we're coming prepared. So, hello everybody, welcome, tuning in. We got Kitty over here. She is still, she's excited. She's ready to eat all the shit that drops on here. So, hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. And again, if you're new here, or maybe you've seen these a million times, every Friday I like to get in the kitchen because I am a chef and just kind of keep you guys company and tell you how we're and what we're making for today. So today we have some chili. We're going to be making some chili. The weather's tuning down, and in reality, chili is one of the sneaky things that you can eat throughout the year, and it is actually low fat, high protein, and very good carbs for you. So we're going to get into it. So, and you're asking, Nick, what the hell is a Pittsburgh chili, comparatively speaking to just a regular traditional chili? So, in a Pittsburgh chili, we just use two different meats. So, maybe a lot of times, you might just have ground beef, you might use pork, you might use these different types of protein. But in Pittsburgh chili, we like to use two different types of meat, sometimes three. People get crazy in Pittsburgh, so I'm not going three. Usually the three meats are... is bacon, so you could use some sort of pork, beef, sirloin, you name it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna use two different types of meats. We're gonna go sirloin, and we're gonna go sausage. So tune in and welcome everyone. How's everybody doing? So I will say, I'm making some bread rolls. So we have some bread that we made, I should say that we have proof in right here. So I didn't want to make it live on stream because if you've ever made bread, this shit takes forever, right? Let me know in the chat if you've ever made bread. You gotta knead it, you gotta put it together, you gotta put the yeast together, you gotta do all of these different things, all these different steps, and then you gotta let it sit there for fucking an hour and a half, right? And it's like, what? So that's where we're at here. We're letting this sit for an hour and a half and letting it do its thing. So that's been sitting for roughly 30 minutes. And how's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Let me get my automations in here. It was for the recipes, recipe comment. What was it? Chili. I think it wasn't it bread? There we go. And then let me save that. Let me pin it. Bingo. Yeah, so comment chili, comment bread, and you know the drill. We send it to your, or was it rolls? I don't know. Rolls. Rolls. She says it was rolls, so we're going to go rolls. So comment chili or rolls, not bread. Is that what we're making? I thought it was bread. I mean, usually you got me making yeast. Damn it. Okay. So comment chili or rolls, and you could get the recipe. I swear, one of these days, I always say I come prepared, but then it's never really, just when you always think you're prepared, you never really come prepared. And hello, you. Thank you for tuning in. I would love to see if I could do these automations for YouTube, but never really can. So you just have to stay tuned and wait for it into the comments. How we doing? Chili. Chili. C-H-I-L-I. So if you actually want if you're on YouTube, I hate you jump back and forth, but if you really want it, you could go to my Instagram and comment there because we're live on Instagram as well. So let's get to it. Let's get the formalities out the way. We got all the stuff out the way. A lot of you are gonna be like, Nick, what the hell are we doing? I thought you were a personal trainer. What are we doing? What are we doing over here? So we're cooking Pittsburgh chili. And one of the best things when the weather starts turning down is chili. So how we want to do this is just like any other type of stuff, but we're going to use a meat base. And the best part is you can throw this all together into one pot. Like you could do it into a crock pot. I'm just wasting time, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it into the pan. So how we're going to do this is we're going to heat up our pan, medium heat. Now I got some sausage over here. Kitty, watch the hell out of the way. Get out the way. Really? So this is what I got to deal with every day, as you see that. I got a cat who is diabetic, and all she wants to do is eat. She sleeps in front of the damn bowl. She sits right in here. Every time we're in the kitchen, this is all she wants to do. So we're going to turn the heat on. And again, we're going to brown off now. So always the thing whenever you're cooking and you're trying to brown off beef, or you're browning off sausage, for instance, is I personally like to take it out the casing. Now, the reason I like to take it out the casing is because we don't want, it makes it harder for us to, essentially brown up. So you take it off the casing, you put it in there, you throw the casing away, and we don't even want to know what the casing's made of. You don't want to know. And if you do, you can Google it and figure it all out for yourself. But I like to throw this into, like, it's still not hot, right? It's not a hot pan yet. It's warm, but it's not hot. And the reason you want to do that is because if it's too hot, then you start cooking it, it starts burning, starts sticking to the pan. So make sure that it is warming up, essentially. And yeah, you put your, get it nice and browned off, right? So make sure that you're not using the same knife for anything, so you just want to get rid of that. And people always talk, Nick, I never knew about the food safety until I started getting into the streams, and it's one of those things that I think most people under or overlook is food safety when it comes down to cooking, right? So I think a lot of times when we're cooking, people just use the same pan, they use a lot of the same stuff. We can't do that. That's how you get yourself sick. So make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you got sanitized. Make sure you're doing the good things so you keep you and your family safe. So essentially, we have this going, right? And I am going to throw in a pound. Now again, if you want the recipes, you're on Instagram, make sure to comment chili or roll, and you will get the recipe DM'd right to you. So I'm going to throw this beef right in here as well. And what I'm using is 2 links of hot sausage, and I'm using a pound of ground beef. And the reason I'm using the ground beef and I'm using the sirloin is because it's less fat, right? The sirloin has less fat. And the thing is we want to put that into a pan, and we want to make sure that we do get this nice and browned. That is our main goal. And a good hack, if you're ever trying to get yourself in a rush, is you cover it, all right? Cover your pan, allow it to do its thing. The reason you want to cover it, why? Because you're not letting the steam out. So let me know in the chat, if you ever made chili, you ever making chili, or you've always wanted to, but you've never actually done it before. Well, we got a recipe here for you. So we're going to let that go. We're going to let it do its thing. And we're going to turn that up just a little bit. And we can start to see the bread over here. This thing starting to rise a little bit. And so you might be asking, Nick, what the hell did you put on the top of here? So this right here is just a warm paper towel. So we just did a nice warm paper towel just to give it some life. Now, if you've ever made bread, like I was talking to before, is that you go through the whole yeast, the stage of, where the hell did I do with my yeast? So using some active yeast, right? You might be wondering, Nick, why don't you just buy the bread? So sometimes when you're cooking it, and you make it yourself, just a little bit, it tastes better. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if it tastes better for whenever you make it yourself. But again, what you're doing with this is it's active yeast, right? So a lot of times people are like, they don't even know what the hell active yeast is. It's alive. It's bacteria. So one of the things that you do when you're making bread, like so, if you do comment rolls, is that make sure that you have a sugar, right? So you're using water, you're using sugar, and you're using yeast, and you're combining that together so the yeast has something to actually eat. Believe it or not. The yeast is eating your sugar. So how I did it was I used honey. So we use honey for it. Since we're using wheat, we're kind of just, we want it to kind of like almost like a honey wheat effect. And so at the end, you'll find out that we're actually going to put some Quaker oats on top so that we can have a little bit more of like a, I don't know, I don't want to say a rustic feel, but it's not just white flour. So maybe eventually we'll do one, you know, gluten-free. But for the most part, we are just doing this with the gluten. And to be honest, I find myself probably needing to go gluten-free here in the next couple of years, because I feel like every time I have like pasta, like actual pasta, damn, it ruins me for a couple of days. I have no energy. So we're gonna just brown off our meats. We're gonna still let it do this thing, making sure that you have a place for your spatula that is, you know, has meat on it. So make sure that you're not cross-contaminating there. And then now let me know in the chat, what are some of your favorite fall recipes? Chickpea pasta, I was just about to say, chickpea pasta, is it good? Which one do you use, Radiant Queen? Which one are you using? Let me know on YouTube. What do you have, any type of ones that you use over there? Shawarma, oh, interesting. That's not bad. I never really thought about that. Yeah, well, chickpea pasta. What's the other ones that they use? Flax? No, not flaxseed. It's not flaxseed. It's lentil. The Barilla. Oh, the Barilla one. Oh, I like the Barilla one. I think we got some over here somewhere. We use this. So this is the one that I usually use right here. Is this Protein Plus? Now, honestly, if they would sponsor us, this would be great, right? We can get if we can get a protein Barilla protein pasta sponsor, we'd be living life. But essentially, this is some of my favorite. This is the only one. So whenever I don't have this brand particularly, I end up wanting to pass out. Essentially, the lentil, I can't do the lentil. I don't know. There's something about lentils that it just doesn't work with me. Maybe it's just to be honest, I have no idea. There's something about it that just does not. I don't know if it's the texture of the lentils or if it's the I don't know, the mushiness. I don't know. Something about it's not me. If you have a good recipe, let me know. If you have any good lentil recipes, let me know. Come on, right? We're all community here. We gotta share. We gotta keep each other occupied. We gotta keep each other invested into our health, right? So that's what, let me know if you have any recipes like that. We can get them cracking. Saba, I do not read that. I do not know how to read that. I wish I could, but I just don't know how to read that. So I have no idea what you said. So I appreciate the comment. I'm really bad at cooking lentils. Oh, I know, right? That's I think the thing is with lentils, just like anything, that takes like, you have to boil it, then you add the lentils in, and then you reduce it, and then you set it aside, and then, you know, it's just like, there's always all these different steps, right? And that's like what I'm talking about with the bread. You know, there's always, it's fun to make bread, but it's so many different fucking steps, right? Like, and then you just let it and set it and forget it, and maybe we'll put it over here so it warms up a little bit, so maybe it rises a little easier, but who the hell knows? But we got the meat. We got the meat browning off, and so let's start thinking about cutting some veggies and our onions. And you know, everybody always asks, Nick, I make vegetable soup and add lentils. You know what? That's actually a good, you know, that's a smart way of doing it. So do you add them dry, Kali? Do you add them dry, like just, or are they like straight out of the bag, or are they out of a can? Because I feel like they're dry and you put them in soup, they cook in the soup, soak up all the moisture, and that might be the hack that I need to start doing. So if you see me on these onions, right, I cut them in half. I always love chopping these onions in a half moon because it allows us to work with this so much. So I'm doing just I wouldn't say a rough dice, but I don't want them to be I don't want them to be minced, right? There's a mixture. I think a lot of times when people start cutting onions, they just want to either hack it where it's real thick, you know who I'm talking to, or the ones that are real small where it's just like you're inhaling them and you can't taste them. So I like to get a little bit in between both of them. And so when you're dicing here, right, it's important that you're making sure that you have a sharp knife, right? Making sure that you have a sharp knife when you're doing this so you don't cry. And I know I said that last week when we were making the onion soup. Shit, that reminds me. I still have a video of the onion soup pasta that I need to make you, that I need to send to you before I went on vacation. But essentially, we have one onion that we're just doing a simple rough chop, right? Nothing too crazy. We don't want it too small, but we also want it too fine. Because again, we are making a chili, right? So a rough chop, exactly, the rough chop. There's some people who do it where it's a real rough chop. Like, I've been to a restaurant, and I'm not gonna lie, the pico de gallo had like, this was part of their pico de gallo. Now, I'll tell you what, if you ever go to a restaurant and their pico de gallo has onions that look like this, there's a fucking problem, right? You gotta leave. You better leave that damn restaurant. If they're giving you onion chunks like this, that's how you know you gotta go. It's time to go, brother, sister, whoever's in here. But essentially, all right. So maybe my meat was still a little frozen. But we're making the Pittsburgh chili, right? We're browning off the meat. Now, the reason that we call it Pittsburgh chili, I don't know, comparatively speaking to other states, other places where you make chili, is that we use multiple different meats, right? It's more than one meat. So I prefer sausage and sirloin. Some people like putting bacon. Some people like putting a whole bunch of shit in here, and you don't even know. It's just a lot of food. Now, I think we're getting the remnants of the hurricane because it is dark out here. Usually I use the nice sunlight from both of the windows over here, but we don't have sunlight today. What are we saying in YouTube? I just missed your comment. What's up, Venuti? Nagy, what's cracking, brother? How we doing? I didn't even see you in here. How are we doing today? How are you not crying because of the onion? Because we got a sharp knife, and you got to know how to cut the damn onion, right? That's how we do it, right? Nagy, my man. We were just actually talking about you the other day, talking about our hockey games, reminiscing about our old hockey days. Or my leg is damn broken. So, and you know we've been doing this stuff on YouTube and doing this stuff on Instagram, so for a while now. And if you don't, I miss those days, right? Same here. Shit, those were the days, right? Let's be real. You don't realize it until it's gone, you know, and it's like, shit, here we are, back to the grind. But essentially, you see how I chop these, onions. I know, Nagy, you've done a whole bunch of chopping. What are you going to make with the bread? Interesting, actually, very good question. So, you know me, right? Actually, I don't know where the hell I did with it. Somewhere around here. Is that I like using my silicone muffin pan, right? So I could just pop the damn things right out. So that's a very good question. But I'll ask you, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to put them on a, like a parchment paper, bake them in the oven, or do we want to put them into the silicone muffin pans? You know, I think either way, well, they'll work out. You know, it depends on which one you want to do. I think we'll do it in the silicone muffin pans. There's no hockey in North Carolina. Ain't that a shame? Now you see how I'm cutting these peppers too, right? Slice, 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 and then you keep all of the seeds right there. Radiant, you say parchment. Okay, we'll do parchment. See how we cut that? I'll do it again. But just make sure you don't put that in the damn chili, because that ain't going to taste good. Even though you get them out of the bag, they still got a sticker on it. I didn't realize that. Usually the bag, you don't really get the sticker, the stamp of approval. But watch this. So if you're ever cutting a pepper, this is how we're going to do this from here on out. We're going to slice it from the top. Boom. Right? And then you have these different sections where you could cut, and then you do one final cut, and look, you have all of your seeds still into the pepper. I mean, you could be, you know, some might say, Nick, you're wasting some pepper, but you know what? I'm lazy. I don't want to clean up all these damn seeds while I'm cutting all this, right? So that's a little hack that we've been doing for years now. So, all right. So finally, this took way too long to brown. I can't imagine if I would have browned this without the lid. This would have been a shit show. It would have probably been here for 2 days. But we got the meat here. We're making the chili. We're going to allow this to, we'll allow it to cook for another minute or so. And then I want to throw in, and this is the best part about chili. I don't know if anybody's ever really made it, but you're throwing in all of your ingredients and just letting it cook. I mean, it's real simple. Oh, what you say? I got a leg question. What you say? Oh, let me see. Fuck, what happened to the chat? You know, this YouTube, it always it comes up and then it goes away. Shit. Let me try to get you. Let me try to get the chat back over here. I gotta figure this shit out. There it is. Live chat. Boom. That's what we're talking about. Many years, you think of it every day, right? That's actually a very good question about my ankle. Every day I'm dealing with it. And the sad part is like just when you think you're getting better, you don't, right? Because it's like mentally, I think I have just learned to live with it, right? Like if I actually think about it, it's preventing me from doing a lot of different things. But again, I'm not going to let it be the driver of my life, right? And so that's a very good question. I appreciate that. And if that's something that you're dealing with, because I know a lot of people on YouTube found me from my ankle videos, is that, and probably wondering, why the fuck are you cooking? Like, what the hell are you doing cooking? I thought you were sitting there with a broken ass ankle. But essentially, yeah, it's a very good question because, I mean, it's been 3.5 years and actually we're just going to court now. So, I mean, we're going to court and it doesn't start until 2025. So it's been 4 years and it sucks. I mean, you know, but I could ride a bike. I could definitely ride a bike. Running, no. Running is out of the question. And that's honestly why I do so many videos on Instagram of like the different types of cardio, right? There's different types of circuits, different types of stuff. Because the doctor did tell me back in, I don't know, 4 years ago, he said if I wanted to run, you can run, but it's going to be a fast track to osteoarthritis. Now, if anybody's dealt with arthritis or is dealing with arthritis or has that, that's not something that you would wish upon, you know, your worst enemy. And so that's something that I have to look forward to. He said no matter what, you're going to get it, but it's just a matter of how quick do you want it. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, now are you dealing with it? So are you? Oh shit, I missed it. I gotta get this set up on YouTube a little bit better because the chat goes so damn quick that I can't really see it. It's like it comes up and then it goes away. It comes up and it goes away. This is annoying too. Let me fix this. Now, how we doing over here on Instagram? I know I started going on a tangent with my YouTube people. Let me talk. Let me see what the comments are. I don't know why it goes away like that. There it is. Same ankle break as you right now. Stage 4. 4 weeks after surgery, but I'm scared to wear bears. 4 weeks after surgery? Oh shit, dude! You got a long time, brother. You got a long time before you can start putting weight on that ankle. 4 weeks after surgery, I didn't put weight on my ankle. And if you've seen those videos, it was like 10 weeks. 10 weeks, and I tell you what, I'm still wearing my shoes with all the extra special cushion in them because I can't wear any other shoes. If I wear any other shoes, it completely messes up my hip, messes up my ankle, messes up just about everything. And honestly, it sucks because as a fitness professional, it's hard to you know, really admit that, but I'll be real with you. You know, you guys are all part of the community. Is that, yeah, it's something that I deal with on an everyday basis. Like, I got 14 screws in my ankle. I can't really do the things that I really like to do. Now, when we went hiking the other day, I had to go get specialized shoes just so my ankle wouldn't get fucked. And it was a couple $100, right? So it's just like, you do different things to mitigate the pain, essentially, but you don't want it to derail and stop the things that you like doing, right? So you have to find that happy medium of you know, surrender pain, discomfort, and really just living life, right? Because I think, you know, most of the community is over 30. I would say most of the community has dealt with some sort of injury, has dealt with some sort of issue in life. But the thing is that we don't look at it as setbacks, right? We look at it as learning experiences. And I think once I was able to shift my mind from like, fuck, this sucks, to okay, I'm going to use this to 24 with this injury. Damn, that sucks. That does suck. So, all right. But the thing is that's even better because you look at it that mentality that you can come back from it, right? And I think that's important, is that you're young enough to really come back more than 100%. So that's just some things to really consider whenever you are in this recovery process. And shit, I could talk all day about this. In which, honestly, I'm going to be talking about that because in the middle of October, turned 40 and thinking of cardio options that would keep my joints. See, Jenny, that's the thing, right? It's the different styles of working out, right? So I think a lot of times, I know this is a cooking stream, but it's fitness, you know, we all talking about it anyways, is that when it comes down to exercise, right? A lot of times people think high intensity interval training. A lot of times people think, you know, that's the way to go. But if you think about high intensity interval training, it's intense on the knees, it's intense on the joints, it's intense on different parts of the body. So what ends up happening is that you end up suffering, or you end up compensating, you end up hurting something else. And the problem is that you just keep perpetuating the same behaviors and you go downhill, and it's just like, fuck, you end up screwed, right? Or you look at it as, what are some ways that I could do to keep up my intensity, right? Is there any other ways? And that's the ways that I teach to all my clients, you know. And the thing is you try to do less with more, right? Because let's be real, we all don't have hours and hours and hours and hours. Ooh, look at this. They got the little drain right here. I'm going to use it. We all don't have hours and hours to train anymore. I mean, as we get older, even if you got social obligations, you got kids, you got animals, you got jobs, you got work, you got things that need to be done. You can't be sitting around all day spending 45 an hour into the gym. So you got to be most effective, and sometimes you can only do that twice a week, right? So you got to do the best you can with the time that you have, and that's always the hardest fucking thing to do. And then sometimes you're just looking on the internet for, what the hell do? I don't know what to do. Then we end up spiraling out of control because there's so much information out there. And then we realize it's not the information, it's the taking action, right? You got to take action. Look at this. We got all those veggies in there. We got all this meat in here. We're cooking this shit up. We're going to let this saute a little bit. I'm going to throw some garlic in there. One last question. When you said, I missed that. That was too long. Let me see. What did you say? It's a healthy strain. We know, we try. Get good. It's not because of my own mentality. I mean, I guess kind of it is my own mentality. Now that you say that, that's a good question. Way to call me out. I used to be someone who was very fast, right? I was a sprinter. I was not a marathon guy. You wouldn't see me run more than 5K. I was a sprinter. And so I was very fast and doing different things. Now, when I first came back from the injury, one of my clients had me run. And it was a lot of impact on my knees. It was a lot of impact on my ankle. And it, honestly, it fucking sucked. It was, I had to recover 3 days from it. So I never wanted to do it again. And I remember what the doctor said about how, Nick, if you want to run, it's going to be a fast track to osteoarthritis, like I was saying. And so I said, you know what? I just won't do it. You know, I will box. I can punch the punching bag. I can do all these other things that will be just effective as cardio without the sacrifice of me damaging my my ankle. So that's what I done. If you see a lot of my YouTube or my Instagram videos, the bag that's behind me, I beat that thing up 3 to 4 or 5 times a week, you know. And the reason is because it's high intense. I could go pretty much all out on it, and I mean, I could use my knees, right? So knees, driving, elbows. I find that to be a little bit better cardio than whenever I was doing beforehand. So yes, it sucks, but you also got to pivot, right? The life is all about pivoting. I got you. I got you, John. Don't worry about it, man. That's what the community is all about. You got a question, I'll help you out. Because I think 9 times out of 10, that's what we're all looking for, some sort of pivot, right? Let's be real. What we're doing right now, pivot, right? Radiant Queen, see, like you got people cheering you on from another platform. So from on Instagram, because if you haven't followed me on Instagram, what the hell are you doing? Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and then send me a message and say you came over here from YouTube, and I'll shout you out. But essentially, what we're looking for is a lot of us aren't in the position that we thought we were going to be in. Let's be real, and we can look at that as 2 ways. We can look at that as a way to learn, or we can look at that as a way that, like, oh shit, woe is me, right? I thought the Healthy Yinzer, I went back to school so that I can develop a fitness facility for underprivileged kids and adults. When that didn't work, it didn't stop me from my mission of helping people, right? I just pivoted and started knocking on doors and going to people's houses. And then once I realized, I was like, damn, like, this sucks. I don't really want to keep doing this anymore. I come on Instagram and start sharing some stuff with you guys and being social media. Now, it's crazy that we have 80-some thousand people on Instagram following me and listening to the message. I appreciate everybody in the community, but what it comes down to is that you got to find people in your tribe, people that are looking out for you, right? And just know that, there is people out there trying to help. Not everybody's out there looking at you and, wanting to see you fail, right? We want to see you succeed. I work out every day, but have less than an hour to do so before it takes over. So I love those short, intense workouts. See, Jenny, I appreciate that. And especially we were just talking about the core workouts. I haven't even shared that on YouTube. About the series of 5, the Pilates series of 5. I've been using that with myself and a lot of my clients recently, and holy shit, they're like, Nick, I feel this everywhere. I feel this deep in here. I feel this over here. I feel this right there. I feel, what the hell? We'd always done these movements, but we never done them all together. I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. All right, so I get the talking. So I got the meat ground off. I got the kidney beans. I got the meat browned off. Those core workouts are amazing. I know, they're fucking great. And again, I'm gonna explain them a little deeper. I might actually just do a video series about it where I'm explaining them a little bit deeper. But I'm going to explain them on our Sunday morning yoga class. So on YouTube, if you want, every Sunday, I tried streaming it to YouTube, but it just gives me so much problems that every Sunday we do a yoga class on Instagram. It's on Instagram Live, and it's at 10 a.m. Eastern and at 7 p.m. Eastern. And essentially, if you've ever wanted to experience yoga, everybody wanted to experience Pilates with a live instructor, but you're too afraid or you just don't feel confident to go to your house, like really to a studio, well, I invite you to come on over. Well, you don't even need to come over. Just open up your damn app and get yourself in there. When you think you're in shape, and then try Nick's core workouts. The problem, Jenny, it's funny you say that. A lot of times whenever I'm with my clients, they're like, oh shit, I'm demonstrating the exercises. They're like, that doesn't look too bad. And then they do it and they go, what the fuck? You made that look so easy. Well, remember that I've been doing this for a long time. I say a long time, I say over a decade. I'm only 34. I got grays. I got gray hair now, so I think I can say long time now, right? Like I got some grays here, you don't even want to know. But so I could start saying long time, right? Not as long as maybe some people in the community, but long enough. Fuck, Why is this guy? And then we go ahead and then we go and get ourselves all the way out. You know what I mean? So, what the hell are you talking about down here on YouTube? I didn't even hear what you said. It's okay, message you on Instagram. Yeah, you can message me on Instagram. I don't even know what type of circle you just started spinning down there in the comments. That's always the crazy when you get different communities, different comments, and I have no idea what that person just said. But yeah, feel free, message me on Instagram. Make sure it doesn't get lost, but yeah, feel free, message me on Instagram. We'll talk. you got a question, holler at me. But I will say, we got 1 can of kidney beans going in. And I did rinse those if you did not see. 1 can of kidney beans. 1 can of black beans. So we're getting beanie. And this is honestly, if you think about the amount of protein, this is why chili is a really good meal. I mean, honestly, right? Is because it has so much protein. You're not only getting the protein from the meat itself, but you're getting the protein from a lot of the beans. Now, just don't go out in public because you know you're gonna be farting. Let's be real. But it's a comfort food inside your own house. Nobody needs to know. So let me just recap. And again, if you want the recipe, it is on. You can comment chili or rolls, and I'll send you some of my recipes. But all we're doing is we're using 1 can of crushed fire roasted tomatoes, and then using 1 can of kidney beans, and using 1 can of black beans. And so once we have that, and really we're just dumping that all into our pot. And some might say, Nick, holy hell, that's starting to look like chili. I know. Look at that. Would you look at that? It's starting to look a lot like chili. Now, the best part is you could do all of this in a crock pot. You don't even need to be doing this in a pot, right? What you could be doing is you could just have a crock pot, throw all of these ingredients in there, set it on medium, come back in 4 or 5 hours, go to work, come back, and it's done, right? It could be as simple as that. I just wanted to show you, waste some time, talk to the audience, and show you how it can be done on a stovetop as well, right? And so we're gonna let that cook a little bit here because that's still not done. Because if you think about it, that's not enough. It's not enough liquid. But what I want to do is I want to get the flavors. I want to combine the flavors before we set it and forget it, and then we get off stream, and then I eat it in 3 hours later. So I'm using beef stock. So the hack is some beef stock. I don't know if you see this. So some beef stock. So I'm using a cup. Now you could use bone broth. You could use something. You could use really whatever, to be honest. Just as long as you're giving yourself a little bit more of some liquid. So we're gonna put a cup of beef stock in here. And one of the things that I'm just gonna measure it because I wanna let this go for a couple more minutes to blend the flavors, is make sure that you shake the stock, right? A lot of times people just open this up from the store and then pour it into their dish and wonder why it doesn't have any flavor. It's because it's all at the bottom, right? Shake the damn thing and then pour it in there. So there's your little hack for the day. There's your tip. There's your tip for the day, right? The Food Friday. But you know, you come in here, you get all the tips. So again, if you want the recipes, make sure that you comment chili or rolls. And you might be saying, why am I commenting rolls? Where the hell's the rolls? Well, if you look, see how this thing's starting to grow, right? It's starting to grow a little bit. Actually, it's hot on the bottom. I probably should take this off. But yeah, that is our bread rolls. Actually, let's just so you can see what the hell we got going on here. Look at that. So that is a honey wheat bread that we are making. And we're just gonna let that sit over here. And honestly, we have 10 minutes before we actually look at that to essentially start cutting it and cooking it on parchment paper. So that's what we have. We're gonna let this blend a little bit longer. And again, if anybody has any questions, holler at me, right? Let me know if you have any questions. This is already smelling good. But make sure that you do mix it all together. So we do got the crushed tomatoes. And I like using the fire roasted tomatoes. I don't know, I feel like it just has a little bit extra flavor. And being that this is chili, you could set this on low and let it cook for literally all day, right? As long as you're still using beef stock, you're still adding flavor into it. And again, the difference between Pittsburgh chili, because I know I had some comments earlier on the story, said, what the fuck is Pittsburgh chili? Well, Pittsburgh chili adds 2 meats, or a minimum of 2 meats. You can add pork, beef, you name it, right? But as long as there's 2 meats, I don't know, rather than just a traditional meat. Maybe it's because all of our Yinzer people were starving and didn't know how to cook, so they just threw everything in the world over there. But let's get into some of these seasonings. So some of the seasonings we're using: some pepper, some salt, obviously some chili powder. We got some cayenne. We got some paprika, some cayenne pepper, cumin, and chili powder. So this is when shit can get crazy, right? Let's be real. If you don't watch how much of this seasoning you put in here, it ruins the chili, right? So if you're somebody who likes, I know we voted, and I know a lot of people said they like mild chili, right? So watch it, because once you put it in here, you can't take it back out. Like, let's be real, you can't take it back out. So ease into it. You like a little chili powder, you like a little cayenne pepper, cool. You like spicy stuff, well, now's your time. So now that we have this kind of marinate a little bit here, I'm going to throw in this cup of beef stock. And then I'm going to throw in, and you know I never measure. I measure with the heart, you know. So I do a nice little measure with the heart, a little bit of cumin just around. With the chili powder, I like a little spice, so I'm going to throw it in there because it's nice. You know, the spice is nice. And the paprika is just a sprinkle, right? Because the paprika, and you got to think, this is a lot, you use a lot of this for the color. Paprika is really good for color, not really good for the flavor, if you've ever looked at that. And the same thing with the cayenne. I just want to throw a little bit of pinch. We'll do a little 2 pinches of cayenne. And that's pretty much it, right? So we throw a little bit of salt just to kind of combine all of those flavors. And then we do the pepper. Pepper never comes out. I don't know why. The salt always comes out easy. I'm probably better off just going manual and doing it all over again. But once you have that all together, I just fold it together. And you will guess it, is that now this is basically going to be your chili, right? So it's going to come up. It's going to get, the thickness is going to come up a little bit more, because you got to think the beans are going to kind of make it just a little bit more, I don't want to say creamy, but let me show you over here, because you can't see it apparently, is that there we go, right? So that's our chili. That's what it looks like. And we're just going to set it and essentially forget it, right? Forget who we said that saying beforehand. But I think Instagram, you can see this. If not, let me show you over here. Get you a little... There we go. And you can see all those colors too, right? See how it's not too liquidy? The meat's still there, right? It's still kind of rough chop. I didn't do nothing too crazy with it. But what you can do is allow it to simmer, right? And so I'm going to put that lid on there before it becomes a fucking mess and just ruins my whole entire kitchen. And you know how that is. If you're ever cooking red sauce, it's a fucking volcano. It's just over here like, you know, it's a fire. Yeah. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit right there. Let me clean up this cutting board. And we are going to throw, we're going to see what this bread looks like. All right. So we have the bread. Nice and simple. So with this bread, ideally we're looking for it to double in size. So I want to just drop it out. Is it gonna, don't stick on me. And it did. Oh well. That's because it was cooking on the bottom of it. Holy shit. Alright, so, oh, nice and airy though. Look at this. If you see this, this is the bread dough. Chili and rolls, thank you. So you see this bread dough? It's nice, it's airy, I'm impressed. Let's just say that. I am impressed by my work. But it probably could use another half hour, but you know what? I don't care. What we're gonna do is we're going to, essentially, we got to split this. So when we split this, let me wash this off. This is dirty. I apologize. I haven't used this scraper in, fuck, who knows how long. So So now that we got our scraper, essentially what I'm doing is I got water on it, and I'm just gonna cut off a couple edges so that you're looking for something roughly yay big, right? You can put these into balls. These can be like little, and then you put them on parchment paper, bake them into rolls. And that is exactly what we're gonna do. So, because you did vote that you did want them on parchment paper, did you not? So I got my nice little sheet pan, nice and simple. I got my parchment paper. Of course, it doesn't rip the way that I wanted it to. God damn it. It never works out the way that you want it to, especially when we're under pressure here. So I got the oven heated to 375, right? We got the parchment paper nice and simple. I'm just gonna leave it over here. And essentially, I am just gonna put this right there. And remember, give it some space because it is going to expand. So you can roll these back up. You could do them like little croissants. However you really want to do them, that's going to be up to you. And especially how big they are is going to be totally up to you as well. So let me see if you can still see this over here. There you go. So these are just simple bread rolls that are fresh, homemade. Very simple to make, and these are, I would say, a honey wheat. That was too small. You might be able, I'm kind of curious to see how many you will get. I think whenever we did this recipe before, we ended up getting, it was like roughly 2 dozen. So if you do this at your house, you're going to have some damn bread rolls, right? Let's be real. So again, if you want the recipe, comment rolls, comment chili, and you know that these are going to work both together, right? So ideally my goal is hopefully this works and I can make it, hopefully it works, I know it works, is going to make it into a bread bowl. That's what I want, so that I could throw the chili in there, and now I got like my lazy Panera bread chili bowl. Oh, there we go. That tells us, I forget what that was for. What was that for? Oh, the bread proof. Yeah, see? So the bread was proofing. That was right on time whenever I started doing this. You can smell the chili cooking. And see, this is why, especially if you do make this recipe, you know, what you really want to do is make sure that when you're making this recipe that you have time, right? That's why I have the bread proofing. That's why I have all this stuff going first, then made the chili. And while that's cooking and simmering, I'm going to put the bread, I'm going to let it proof again. And ideally, you know, last week we did it was all on time, less than an hour. Kanzi Knives, how we doing today? How we doing today? Hope all is well. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I don't know how many of these I'm going to fit on here, but I think I'm going to do another one. How are we doing? So let's take a look. So this is what we're going to look at when we think of bread rolls. So now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to set it. I'm going to put this back into the bowl. I'm going to let that proof maybe just a little bit more, just to kind of have a better idea, because that was an hour and 15. And then I'm just going to put this over top of this bread. And I'm going to allow this to sit like so for another 10 minutes before I bake it. And before I bake those bread rolls, I'm going to put a little egg wash on them. Not on TV, not on live. Looking for you on my phone. I'm on, just find you on my TV, on TV, not live. Oh, you know what? Since we're on YouTube, that's actually I never thought about that, Crystal. Thanks for bringing that up. We're on YouTube, but I'm on my iPad. So then it's on the vertical, I think it still considers it the vertical like screen, right? I gotta fix that. I gotta figure out how I can get it into the horizontal. That's stuff to work on for next week. See, that's why the community's great. Because if I had it the horizontal, you'd be able to put it up to the TV and just kind of watch it on the TV, right? That's ideally what I always thought people did do. Huh. So I'll have to mess with that. So thanks for reminding me that, Crystal. That's actually very good. Because I don't think you could actually stream it from your phone to the TV right here. We're moving on up. We're moving on. Whoa. That's going to be one of the things we'll eventually do. Oh, it's about to start storming over here. So I'm going to put that away. Thank you, Crystal, for that comment, because that's something I'm definitely going to consider. Because I think it would be better if you think about it on YouTube. Let me know. Is that if we had a camera that was like kind of facing down, you know, I don't want to say straight Rachel Ray style, but maybe, right? Maybe you guys would like it a little bit more. Maybe you guys would find some more value out of it. So maybe we have a camera that's like here pointing down. Maybe we have one coming down. There's some ways that we could do it. So I think I probably should. So let me know, YouTube. Let me know if that's something that you would like to see, or you know, you just like me rambling on the feed like this. But Crystal, I appreciate that comment. But let me get my egg wash. So, what the egg wash, right? You might be wondering, Nick, why you do an egg wash? Well, a lot of times with bread, for me personally, I like being able to add just a little bit of egg wash on the top so it doesn't burn, but also so that it gives it a little bit of a little crisp. So, that's what we're going to do. So, I got one egg, and now let me know in the chat. Can you break and crack an egg with one hand? Can you crack an egg with one hand? If you're like, Nick, you're out of your damn mind. Let me show you how. So I grab it like this, right? See, I got one hand, my thumb here, middle finger here, pointer finger here, and I got something going on with this middle finger. So I'm going to show you. So we crack it like this. So we smash it, boom. Now we got that cracked component, right? And then now I switch and pull. Actually, I have no idea how I do that. It just happens. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, how the hell do I do that? I pull it, I don't know. But that's how it's done. Like, thanks. The fuck, that didn't help me at all. But yeah, that's how it's done. And some might be saying, Nick, why are you doing a full-on egg wash? Why not an egg white or just a regular egg yolk? And the reason is because I'm trying to get some air. There we go. I'm trying to get some air in here so that when we do this, it's a little yolky and it can stick. We're going to add the, what the hell did I do with them? The Quaker Oats. So how we're going to do this, so we have our oats. We have this over here. And you can see why we did this too, right? If we look at this, it proofed. So the reason we made the bread rolls and then added the, let them sit for a minute is because it just proofed a little bit. So that whenever you do this, it's gonna be a lot easier. Oh my God, your cat's cute. Thanks. You see her over there? She is just waiting for anything to drop. Ain't that right, girl? Huh? What are you eating over here? No, that's not for you. Yep. That is the Savage Cat. Now, I don't know if you could, yeah, I guess you can see her. Oh, I guess everybody can see her now. Wow. Look, she's moving on. She's the star of the show. It's not about what we're actually making. It's about this. Yeah, she's a pain in my ass, but she's cute. But essentially, let's finish up with this so you don't have, and I can say that I did it in less than an hour. I am not using that. Okay. So I'm just going to use my hands. Fuck it. I did have a brush, but that pastry brush has seen better days. So I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to dip it and then tap it on top. Just kind of making sure that I'm not overloading it, but I am just giving it a nice gentle egg wash topping, because what we are going to do here is we're going to throw some Oats on top. Oats on top. And this will allow you, and this is why you do one batch and then allow yourself to see, okay, how big is this? How big are these bread rolls going to be, right? How big is it going to? Kitty needs a close up. You want a close up with Kitty? Okay, we'll give Kitty the close up star. She's going to be like, damn it, I want food. I don't want you showing me off. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 12 minutes. Come here, girl. Actually, let me set the timer here. Come here, girl. What? What you doing? Hmm? Come here. What's this? Ugh. All right. So this is Kitty. You can see she has her name tag. She just got her second shot. And to be honest, if you ever gone to the vet, you will find that they now charge you a fee to stab the cat, but they also charge you a fee just to show up there. So vets are, if you have any pets, vets are getting quite expensive. And she is diabetic, so we actually have to stab her with 8 cc's of insulin per day. Oh, the power's going to be going out. So 8 cc's of insulin per day just to keep her alive. She has insulin, and I don't know, and I always look at it like, did we essentially give it to her? Like, did we give her diabetes? Was it me giving her treats many years ago? Was it, you name it, blood pressure? No, it was her glucose, right? So like one day we saw her just pissing and drinking and pissing, and it was just nonstop. And then she started losing a lot of weight. And being an exercise scientist, I'm like, this all sounds like diabetes. I mean, what the hell? I think you mean IUs, not CCs. Yeah, IUs. That's exact. CCs is I always think of of a vehicle, of an engine, right? It's 1,000 cubic centimeters, right? That's what she's getting. She's getting 8 cubic centimeters of insulin in her veins. But no, IUs. That's exactly it. Is that that's a pretty hefty dose for an animal, right? And so if you think about that, it's like, holy shit. It takes, I mean, if you think about what most people are on, insulin wise, she's up there with some of the top ones. Why I still do it, I have no fucking clue. Just let you know, I'm allergic to the cat. I am allergic to cats. But yet, I have one for the last 8 years that we give insulin to. Now, look at her. You guys have to see this. This is what we have to deal with every day. Look at her sitting on her food bowl. So, I'll show you over here. What the hell? Let's see. Okay. Look at her sitting on her food bowl, just waiting. Please. You're going to show me off. At least feed me. I mean, what the hell? Am I going to be the star of the show? At least feed me. But if you can see, that's right where the plug is. This cat is so fucking smart that she'll actually push with her tail right there. And she'll knock the thing off. She's wild. So she'll actually push her tail off, knock the thing off, and then next thing you know, let me set this back up. And then she'll get more food. She's a pain. Yeah, she needs her own channel. She really does. I mean, honestly, I was gonna do some content in which I don't know if you guys would even like it, but apparently you might. Would be making her own food. Would be, because you should see whenever we're cooking, right? She knows words like what's this. She knows that, right? See, she knows words. So it's like she knows and she likes human food. So the crazy thing is if I start making content with her making her food, she'll never eat cat food again. which maybe that's what caused her diabetes in the fucking first place, right? So who the fuck knows? But you asked, what did we do with the bread? What we did with the bread was we put it in the oven. So we set it in the oven at 375 for 15 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and see what happens. And you can see this right here, right? This is the extra dough that we used, or that we had, and it proofed back up, right? This is why you want to do half and then throw the other half in, and without letting it just sit here and just going dead on your countertop. So that's going to be a whole nother batch that we're going to be able to use. Now the thing is with this is about food and not the cat, right? Honestly. Now look, see, it's all over. Well, since you're being pretty, here, come on. I'll give you some food. There we go. And she's also a drug addict. So, believe it or not, the cat is actually a drug addict. That's the last thing, is that she's addicted to gabapentin. So it's a pain reliever. She goes crazy for that. So not only is she diabetic, but she's also a drug addict, and she likes food for way too much. So that's my cat. That's Kitty's the cat. And so let me clean up some of this. I am going to put this on extremely low. What time is it? Oh, my phone. My wallet's there. Awesome. So, yeah. So we'll have Kitty and we'll do our own live stream one of these days where I get her doing her thing. And that'll be a Food Friday. Cooking Kitty's. Your cat takes THC CBD tincture. Damn, Kitty, you want to get some CBD? You want to get some THC tinctures, huh? Shit. That'd be the last thing, Queen. If I give my cat some weed, she might be eating the entire house. We saw her dipping her paw Feline Friday. Oh, Jenny, I like that. Feline Friday. I'm writing that down. I like that. Feline Friday. And then it says, pick up cat's insulin. So I got to go pick up the cat's head. He's a pothead. That's actually hilarious. And the thing is like catnip's different, right? Catnip gets the cats going crazy. Weed, on the other hand, gets the cat. I'll show you this stuff right here. Actually, I don't want to grab it because if I grab the bag, she's going to want some of it and I'll feel bad. So, yeah. Feline Friday. Maybe we'll do that with I'll take a poll. How many people in the community have cats? And if we'll see how many people have cats, and then we'll figure out a way to make a recipe for them that doesn't require maybe too much effort. And we'll see if it's cat approved. I like that. I like Feline Friday. See? It's about the community. It's why we do these live streams. How else would I come up with this shit if you weren't sitting here adding to the value, right? We got this garlic in here. I'm not saving this garlic. I'm throwing the rest of this in here. I like garlic. What the fuck? So that's probably not part of the recipe, but I'm just not going to save that garlic. It's just a little bit whenever I could just throw it into here. And you can really see how it's starting to get a lot more, I don't want to spill this, but a lot more liquid. This is why you put the lid on it. It keeps the liquid inside of the pans, because the steam, essentially, right, we'll go back to cooking. The steam is liquid escaping your food. So if we have the lid on it, the lid is going to keep it nice and safe inside of there. So that'll be something cool. Crystal, that would be great. Yeah, we got to try that. So, yeah, so with that being said, we have 7 minutes on the bread. Once the bread is done, I will allow you, we'll see how it turns out. I'll allow you to escape. And if you didn't already, make sure that you comment chili or rolls. And I'll send you over the recipe of what we're essentially making right here, so you can make it on your own. I had a couple people reach out and say they tried making the, what we made a couple weeks ago was the French onion soup pasta. I still have to do that video. I have to send that reel. As we did that reel, and people were like, that was really good, but it needed more flavor. It tasted a lot like onion. I'm like, yeah, it was French onion soup pasta. It was supposed to taste like onion because that's the whole fucking point. So if you don't like onions, or so, I'm just gonna preface it by saying, if you don't like beans and you don't like meat, maybe this isn't the recipe for you. Maybe you do the bread recipe instead. You know, who the hell knows? But yeah, I found that to be weird. Nick, your French onion soup pasta tasted a lot. It was a lot of onions. I'm like, yes, it was onion. Yeah, you never know. You know, you can't please everybody. You know, is one thing that I found. As much as I try to reach out and do what I can for the community, you find out that you can't please everyone. There's always going to be someone that's like, well, what about me? What about this? I actually had some lady, I'll put her on blast, I don't even give a shit, is that she did the 6-week challenge and then did the 6-week challenge, lost 6 pounds, gained all the coaching for each week, and then said to her bank that she never actually got the product delivered. So, again, people, there's scammers out here. People always think like the Instagram, like the people who are making the content or the coaches who are out there are scamming and doing all this stuff. I basically got scammed by one of the community members, right? Got a whole 6 weeks worth of coaching and then told her bank that it never showed up. And it just shows you the level of some people, right? Like, damn, you know, that's just the level that where we're at right now in society, right? And so this person now is removed from the community. Let's just say that. Let's just say she's blocked from everywhere. So that's why I'll call her out and put her on blast. So that's the thing, is that you can't please everybody, right? As much as you want to, as much as I try to do as much as I can, there's always going to be people out there that are negative. And the thing is you don't surround yourself with those people. You try to get yourself around people who are going to boost you up, get you into a circle that's going to show you that, you know, the way is 1% better, right? Not trying to do everything at once. So if you could really start to look and you're worried about your situation and where you're at, it's time to look at the circle around you, you know? What are they doing? I'll tell you what, once I started owning my business 7 years ago, all of my friends disappeared. I don't know why, who knows? But the reality of the situation is, it just wasn't on, we weren't on the same level, right? I was over here struggling day in and day out while people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a week or $100,000 a year. Well, I'm out here putting every penny I have into starting a business. Sometimes people just don't align with where you're at right now. So if you think about that, maybe you need some new friends. And it's always hard, I get it, to go out and meet some new people. And that's why I do all this stuff online and the internet, right? Try to build a community through the internet to get people that are doing stuff that are very similar, right? And I feel like that's kind of where we're at now, right? I think COVID kind of screwed us in regards to where we're so reliant on the internet and the communication that we have on the internet rather than the face-to-face interpersonal communication that we used to have. And so that's why I try to do these live streams, and that's fine. You know what? And that's okay. I appreciate that, Store. And the thing is that's the thing though. You got to be okay with that, right? You got to be okay with having boundaries and having that stuff, right? Some people aren't. They need validation from other people. I'll tell you what. When I used to be, before I did a lot of the online stuff, really, for 4 or 5 years when I was in business, I thought that I was just going to be a personal chef. And I work with NHL athletes. I work with people currently as a personal chef, but like I thought that was going to be my thing. I thought I was going to be doing tented events. I thought I was going to be cooking at all the Pittsburgh fairs, you know, doing all that shit. And then I realized that every time that I did an event, the people who showed up were people I had no idea who they were. None of my friends, none of my coworkers, none of my colleagues, nobody ever actually showed up. And it was wild. I thought about that. I was like, these people were supposed to be my friends and they're the ones cheering me on and blah, 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 blah. But they never showed up. And that's wild to think, right? And they're the same people who will message me right now, Nick, hey, I see your Instagram, you're blowing up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, where were you whenever I couldn't even get somebody to show up to a live stream? Where were you when I couldn't even sell a damn cheeseburger on the street? You know, like, it's just wild when you look at it. So that's why I always tell people, you know, don't use that as, you know, the negative. You use that as a learning experience. Use that as the fire in your stomach, and you just keep going, right? Because persistence is everything. And, you know, we went from having a, we went from Food Friday to having cat talk to, to kind of talking about mindset and growth, right? Radiant Queen, they can't handle your growth. I think that's the thing. People are afraid to grow, right? I know for me, I was kicked out of high school. I was left for nothing. I thought I was going to be a dishwasher my whole entire life, right? It wasn't until I said, fuck this. This is not the life I want to live, and went back to college, learned and got an education, became an exercise physiologist. But the thing is like, that didn't come easy. And I think a lot of times with people is that, nothing good ever comes easy. And sometimes that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for that sign, or we're waiting for something to actually happen. There's never a perfect time. There's never going to be somebody who's going to tell you, like, hey, Nick, it's time to get yourself up off your ass. It's up to you to do that, right? And it's always the hard look in the mirror. And so if you're struggling and you're dealing with an issue for way too long and you know it, instead of sitting there dwelling about it, it's time to start doing something about it, right? And I think that's something that's important, right? I think that's something that's important. Like, if you're dealing with something, I don't care if it's an ache or pain. And I always say, if you have a skill, you're out there painting, you're out there sewing, you're crocheting, you're out there doing whatever the hell it is you're doing, show some people and let some people know about what you're doing, right? Because you'll be surprised of how many people actually do care and want to see you succeed. I know it's tough because the negative, don't get me wrong, right? You guys chat me up, you guys make me feel good right here. But I bet you one negative comment, that's the comment that we think of, right? That's the comment that we're always like, oh shit, that's the person. Woe is me. All right, so that was 15 minutes. I don't like the way that looks. Let me write that down. I'm going to go 2 more minutes. So if we did 15 minutes on the rules, we're going to go 2 minutes. Healthy Angels TED Talk Q mic drop. That's funny. But no, I think that's just important, right? Is that I think a lot of times we hold our own selves back, right? I know this isn't Mindset Monday stream, but you get me on a tangent. Is that I think a lot of times we hold our own selves back. And it's due to self-limiting beliefs, right? We're afraid to put ourselves out there. I used to never like doing these live streams. I tell you, a lot of people say, Nick, how are you so confident doing these live streams? Or how do you talk so much during these live streams? Or how do you hold a conversation? I'll tell you what, I used to never be able to do this. But over time, I just said, you know what? Let me just get out of my own comfort zone, get on here, start talking to myself, start talking to the community. And it got easier, right? And I think that could be said for a lot of us. There's a lot of things that we want to do in life. There's a lot of things that are preventing us from, doing the things that we want to do, but we also got to stay on path, right? I think that's very important, is that you just stay on path, right? Just like, I appreciate that. Don't let the negative comments throw off your game. You got this. I appreciate that, but that's how humans are, right? I feel like it's that one negative thing. You can get 100 positive things said about you or said for you, things going right, but it's that one negative thing that you always stick on, right? And I don't know if that's just a human instinct or what, but it happens. But you gotta learn to let it go. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So let's look at this. Oh, shit. That's hot. All right. So these are the bread rolls. Now, if we can see this, look at that. Shit, that's hot. So I used to have my fingertips where, oh, these are gonna be amazing. Look at this. Look at that golden brown, right? Look at that golden brown. It's hot as hell. You should really, everything for the community. Woo! Wow. So what this kind of looks like, now, it looks good. So that was 17 minutes with these. Now let's see what it looks like inside. So inside, they are steaming. Woo! Damn, that's hot. So they look good. The outside looks good. And You know what these kind of taste like? When you go to Cheesecake Factory and they give you that bread, this tastes like the one. We need cinnamon butter. Damn, that's right. Honestly, that's exactly what we need. I was going to use it for the chili, but cinnamon butter would be perfect. This is hot as hell. I don't know how I'm eating this. Probably because I'm hungry. But that's good. I like that. 17 minutes at 375. Oh, it wasn't 375. I knocked it over. It was at 350. No wonder. Fuck. Well, 350. So, I love Cheesecake Factory. Bet they tasted good too. So, they turned out, even though they were 15 degrees less than they need to be, but it kind of gives it that nice, like if we look at this, right? It has a nice crunch, like a nice crispy layer on the outside, right? You can hear it. And it's nice and soft in the inside. So, fresh bread. It's not gooey. It's not, it's hot. I don't know why I keep playing with this, acting like it's just fucking regular bread. But it's hot. It's good. It's for dinner. That's for damn sure. And I'm going to make a cinnamon butter later on today and see how it tastes. So, I appreciate, actually, you know what I might do with this? I might just do one big whole bread bowl with this and see how the hell it works. Sounds like a happy accident, honestly, Jenny. You know Bob and I. We get together, and it's all happy accidents. I don't know if you've ever seen that shirt that I have, that it has, if you're ever watching Bob Ross, is that it has all the colors go on the screen. So I ended up getting a shirt that has all of the colors: chromanium yellow, chromanium orange, dark whatever the hell it is. I can't even remember the names, but I ended up getting a shirt like that. That's like one of the nerdiest shirts that I've ever gotten. I love it. But these little rolls, damn, and now that we actually have, this gives me some time to perfect these a little bit more. But if you look at these, I mean, not too bad, right? Burnt sienna, that's it. Burnt sienna, fucking right. See, this community is awesome. Burnt sienna. Wait, I'm actually going to wear that shirt Sunday yoga class, so be prepared when I wear my Bob Ross color t-shirt. But think about this, right? If you could make this for Thanksgiving, this coming Thanksgiving, if you're in America, I'll have some time to perfect these a little bit more. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, these are good just the way they are. I'm not even going to lie. But if you wanted to perfect them a little bit, we probably could. Which we're going to do right here. I'm going to do this way. I'm going to do a little bread bowl. Got all this fall shit. My girlfriend just went hard decorating for fall everywhere. Look at this. I mean, it's just full. It's fall everything. We got fall stuff. I got some messages about the stream room upstairs in the gym. I got a ghost in there. I mean, we got... we out there. We decorating. All right, so we're going to make this bread bowl real quick as the last thing. I'm going to throw some oats on top. Spread them out a little bit more this time. We have it at 375, so that's perfect. And we're going to set it in there. When I usually do this, I do it for 15 minutes, and I was surprised whenever I pulled it out for 15 minutes and it wasn't done. I was like, what the hell? This isn't how it is, because it's 15 degrees, 15 degrees less. So now that we have that done, we have our bread bowls done. We have our Pittsburgh chili over here. Look at that, looking lovely. Let me stir this. And yeah, and that's that. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm not gonna lie, because I'll be real with the community. I might go get some damn fries and make some chili cheese fries, because I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be good chili cheese. It's gonna be a good chili for chili cheese fries. So, but we got the rolls. I can't be. You know what? I gotta watch. Is that dinner? That is dinner store. So we have the recipe. If you're looking for the recipe, chili, comment rolls. I'll send it over to you. It's 3:22 right now. I'm actually going to let this cook basically all day. And again, you don't need to cook it in a pan. What you could do is cook it in a crock pot, set it, forget it, let it go, and come back in a couple hours. Let's just, oh, damn. I mean, you could probably eat that right now, but the longer you cook it, the more flavor that you're going to get out of it. Many dishes off of one pot of chili. You ain't even lying, right? Chili can go a long way. And you think about what chili is. Low fat, high protein, complex carbohydrates, a lot of fiber, right? Put the chili on a hot dog. Oh, chili cheese dogs. Damn. See, now you got me doing chili cheese dogs and chili cheese fries. What do you want me to do? I'm trying to lose my fat. I'm not sure, you know. I guess it is winter coming up. There's no need. I got to get my my winter hibernation stuff on. But no, this looks like a successful Food Friday, right? There's been some Food Fridays where we've done them and it didn't work out. I'll be real. I wasn't sharing the damn recipes because they didn't work. And a lot of time, I would just throw shit together. Oh, let's put a little bit of this in there. Let's put a little bit of that in there. Let's see if this works. Let's see if that works. And it didn't. But there's other times where it does. So, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure the next time we go live, we're going live Sunday. So Sunday, we're going to be doing our yoga class. We're going to be explaining a little bit more of, if you've seen the videos, the Pilates series of 5. So it's an exercise sequence for Pilates that targets every part of the core, and we're going to explain it a little bit more in depth on Sunday. So look forward to it. It's been so hot in Brooklyn. It's been hot as hell in Pittsburgh. It's been humid. The whole East Coast, to be honest. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm going to put this on my stories too. So if you're just tuning in, you forgot the recipe, I'll put this on my stories so you have it. What time on Sunday? Crystal. I'm talking with food in my mouth shut. So Crystal, every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern is we go live yoga and Pilates class. So think of the 10 a.m. Eastern is more of a 40-minute like kind of flow, right? Let's be real. It's a 40-minute flow where we start off with Pilates and then we end with yoga. So it's like we do the core work, we do the hip work, then we go into yoga to cool it all down. But then at 7 p.m. we do another class for the people who were sleeping in and, you know, from all around the world. And that's more of a restorative class. So it's more or less like we're sitting down, doing gentle stretches, doing shit like that. So yeah, come through. I would love to have you. We have people tuning in. We've been doing it for 27 weeks now. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, it makes your practice a lot easier. So if you've ever wanted to experience it, if you've ever wanted to just practice with the community, come on in. We welcome you with open arms. So, and it's crazy because we have people from Dubai tuning in, which was kind of blew me away. I was like, damn, Dubai? What time is it over there? Oh, it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, holy shit. You're tuning in? Well, we appreciate you. So, without further ado, I'm going to let this go. I'm sweating. I stink. I worked out. I did this. I got to get myself in the shower and get myself together. Because I got to go see a client here at 6 o'clock. I got a coaching call here at 5. I got to do another. I got to onboarding another client. And I always say all these live streams. But see everyone on Sunday. And stay tuned. Let me know if you make these recipes. And then tag me and I'll put you in my story. So, awesome, everybody. Stay tuned. And I'll see you on the next video. All right, YouTube. Broke so cook. What do you mean? It takes time to cook. I don't know. I didn't even see that chat. It takes time to cook when we're cooking. Look at that. But you know, and honestly, I could have just put this in a crock pot. And it could have been really could have been over with in like fucking 10 minutes. But you know, we like to talk. So I appreciate you on YouTube. Cat, what the hell are you doing? I appreciate you on YouTube tuning in. I know a lot of you came through from the ankle streams. But yeah, that's our Food Friday. So thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys are the